everyone, today I'm going to be trying to bust some myths of some fears and worries that I know people have about starting uni and about uni life. So I've picked the top 5 that I think I hear about the most and come up the most, things that I know myself and some of my friends at uni were worried about before we started. So the first one is for whatever reason. Maybe you're worried that you're not going to be able to afford proper food, maybe you're worried about cooking, but it's the generic uni stereotype that you're going to be living off of nothing but pot noodle. So this one's absolutely not true. Of course, if you do want to live off of nothing but pot noodle, you absolutely can. But if it's potentially a money worry, if you can afford a few pot noodles a week, you can absolutely, for the same amount of money, afford some good staple groceries that you can make and cook some proper meals for yourself with throughout the week. And if it's a cooking thing, cookbooks, recipes, all that sort of thing, they are absolutely worth it. You can get some cookbooks that might cater to a specific appliance, so maybe like a one-pan dinner thing, or maybe like a slow cooker or pressure cooker thing if you have one of them, or you can get something catered to a specific diet like vegetarian cookbooks, and that way it means also it's going to be minimal mess, but it's stuff that you can use all the time. You can be using the same type of food to make it all the time, or you can be using the same appliances, and it just makes it a bit easier for you and helps you get into it. But absolutely, I would recommend cookbooks. Also, you can do things like meal prepping, maybe make loads of food at the weekend if you're busy with uni in the week. Freeze it or put it in the fridge or something, and then just come back to it when you need it throughout the week. But no, you will not be living off of pot noodle if you don't want to. So myth number 2, I think especially comes up for people when they first start uni during freshers, is that when you're at uni, and especially during freshers, you're going to go out all the time. Everyone's going to want to go out all the time, and if you don't want to go out all the time, you might not be included, or you might feel like you're not going to make any friends, or you might feel like there's going to be nothing else to do with people. Again, this one is definitely not true. People aren't gonna not want to be your friend just because you don't want to go to every night out. I know some societies and stuff like that also try to cater some of their socials to people who actually don't want to go out, and they try and do other things like games nights. That's the same with your flat as well. You don't have to go out all the time. You could maybe cook something together or play something together one evening. I know a lot of people that did that in my freshers because they didn't want to go out all the time. And then just in general, there is so much to do in Bournemouth. I know there's loads of mini golf places, there's bowling, there's places like the BH2 so you can go get dinner, there's a water park and pool as well if you can drive there, and then of course there's the beach itself, and then there's stuff like the lower gardens and everything in town which are really pretty. So there's so much to do, and you're definitely not going to be left out just because you don't want to go out all the time. Even if you don't want to go out at all, people aren't going to be kind of excluding you because of that. So myth number 3 is that the workload is going to be a struggle, especially at the beginning, and the jump from whatever you've been doing before uni to uni work and undergraduate work is going to be kind of a big gap that you're not used to, and potentially something that you struggle with adjusting to. So first of all, with this one, the uni understand. It happens to everyone when they first join uni. Of course, you're in a new place doing new kinds of work that you're not used to doing, and they will factor that in. And because of that, they'll also ease you in. You're going to be taught how to use everything you need to use. You're going to be taught how to do everything, like write an essay and where you can find help with referencing and things like that. You're going to be eased in, and it's not going to be really difficult and 100% from day one. Also, if you've done the jump from secondary school and GCSEs to a sixth form and A levels, some people say that that's kind of the biggest gap you'll get in education. I don't know if that itself is a myth to bust, but I think I found that personally. It was a bigger gap between school and college than it was from college to uni. And even if you don't feel the same about those two gaps, if you've had a jump in your education before, you've handled it, you've got yourself to uni, so you'll be able to handle it again. And yeah, they'll ease you in, and it's really not going to be that difficult from day one. And even if you find it difficult, the uni are there to help, and you can go to your lecturers, you can go to your course leaders, you can speak to your friends about it, because loads of people will be feeling the same as well. But you're definitely not just going to be left on your own feeling like you're drowning and not knowing what you're doing. Everyone will be there to help, and they'll also try and cater it to helping you adjust to that jump when you first arrive. So myth number 4 is kind of a fact, but it's something that you can get around, and that's that it's going to be expensive to get yourself resources for your course, whether it's textbooks or it's some kind of equipment that is course specific to what you're doing, the projects you're creating. Now, of course, if you are buying some of these things outright and upfront, brand new, they can be expensive, but there are so many ways around it. With stuff like textbooks, of course, you can buy them online from other people, whether it's on a proper selling page like eBay or something, but also if you keep an eye in kind of Bournemouth Uni and Overhead at Bournemouth Facebook groups, loads of students who were on that course and used those textbooks the year before and don't need them anymore will be selling them for a good price to help you out. So definitely have a look at stuff like that. Then of course there's the library. The library is such a lifesaver for all these things, whether you need the books just for your course or whether you need a specific book just to write one essay and then you're done with it. Absolutely use the library. That's what it's there for. And again, it's one of those things where if you feel like you're struggling to afford it, you can go to your lecturers and say, this is a position I'm in, do you know anywhere I can get it, or would I be able to borrow anything that you have for now? So again, they're not going to kind of leave you in the lurch. And that's the same for course specific things like equipment. I know on my course we do a lot of editing, so there's loads of Mac suites around the uni that have all the software you need depending on what it is you need downloaded ready for you to use, so you don't have to buy it and do it at home. And again, with my course we have to do loads of filming, so the uni actually have a service where you can check out loads of cameras and microphones and just like recording and filming equipment. And this doesn't even have to be for a uni project. As long as you write what you're going to be using it for, you can just take them out for your own personal use. So you absolutely don't need to be buying anything big and expensive brand new. There's other ways to get them. So the 5th and final myth to bust, especially for new uni starters, is that it feels like you have to make a group of besties almost straight away as soon as you can. And if you haven't found a good group of friends by, say, like the end of freshers, especially if it looks like everyone else around you has, that's it, and you're kind of not going to be able to become part of those groups or make friends with those people anymore, and you might feel like your opportunities pass. And that's definitely not the case. It takes so long to get to know people at uni because you're always going to be meeting new people. You know, the first 2 weeks of freshers don't determine who you're going to be friends with by the end of it. You barely even really go in those first couple weeks of freshers, so don't feel like you need to have found friends straight away. And if other people on your course or other people in your flat are going out together and you don't feel like you're part of that, it doesn't mean you're going to be excluded forever or feel like you're being excluded forever. It does take time to get to know people, and you'll definitely get to a point by reading week or Christmas where you'll be looking back and thinking, I can't believe I ever worried about it. Loads of people are going to feel the same as well. And also you've got 3 or 4 whole years, depending on if you're doing a placement or something, to get to know people. So definitely don't feel the pressure to do it straight away, and just take that time to get to know people, because then you'll be making true friends that you have kind of common interests and stuff with. So those were my 5 top myths to bust about starting uni. A bit of a tongue twister. I hope they've helped and put your mind at ease, and just remember that if there's something you're worried about when it comes to starting uni or just living at uni, there's always going to be a way around it that's not as expensive or not as difficult or not as stressful. And just talk to people if the issue's on your course, talk to your lecturers, talk to your course mates, or if it's maybe a social thing, talk to people in your flat, talk to the people on your course in your societies. Even if it's something like cooking or cleaning, you can talk to your family at home, talk to other people that you know that might be struggling with the same thing, friends at different unis as well. Definitely don't feel like you just have to keep these things inside. There's always going to be someone who can help you with what it is, and there's always going to be a way that you can do it that is going to take loads of the pressure off. So keep these things in mind when you're preparing to start uni in September, and yeah, I hope they've helped and put your mind at ease. Thank you for watching.